Tweedy, let me ask you something, man. How do you win 3 different games in a single weekend? On Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you won 3 different games for the Coliseum season. You won all of our games for Coliseum season 2.
You won the Coliseum.
You
whole
won the Coliseum season 2. Just explain to me, how do you win 3 games in one weekend?
Well, I mean, to be honest, I was just practicing all 3 games like a lot. In Justice, I was practicing because Hot Rod, he runs Outworld TV, obviously. He started running Injustice TV like I want to say middle of last year, so that got me practicing Injustice a lot. And then MK11 I play all the time because I play in tournaments all the time for that. So when it came to Coliseum, all I really had to ramp up was MKX. And I don't know, I just had 3 really good bracket runs. I mean, I don't know. It seems like I win everything sometimes, but I definitely don't. But that was a crazy weekend.
Dude, that made no sense to me at all. You won Injustice, and I was like, all right. I mean, yeah, the Starfire, he's nasty with it. Then MKX comes around, I'm like, he's on a run.
MKX
okay, Kenshi
was the
takes
one
it
that did it for me, Tweedy. You had the odds against you. I think in all 3 games, I think you may have said it yourself when we had talked about it, but MKX was the one where I was like, I think that this is where the run ends. But damn, what a run you had. And was it an MKX? There was a couple of those runs where you had multiple like reverse 3-0s in top 16 to survive in the top 8 on the winner's side. And it was like, some of those runs were insane, man.
No, I think it was actually Injustice.
Ooh.
I went down 2-0 against King before top 8. And I had to reverse 3-0 him. MKX, I don't think I had any reverse 3-0s because I played you and that was 3-1. I think Star Charger was 3-1. And then I got mobbed by Cyclone, and then I had to make a loser's run. And then MK11, I think I stayed in winners the whole time. I think.
Jeez.
Which one was the hardest to you to win?
Trying to think, because MK11, I feel like the sets were like closer overall. Because like Injustice 2 and MKX, I did pretty well once I went to losers. Like I didn't drop too many games. But MK11, every set was close, even though I won. I'm pretty sure Kerbo was 3-2. I want to say Sunio was 3-2, or it was like a close 3-1, yeah. Like every game was close. And then Full Auto was like very close, like 3-2 last round, I want to say. So even though I didn't go to losers in MK11, I feel like Robitussin, that was 3-2 as well. So even though I didn't go to losers in MK11, I feel like that was the hardest one.
Wow. So you're telling me that you were able to win 3 games just by playing them? Like you didn't do any special like labbing or anything? You're just like, I've just been playing the game.
Bro, so this is a big thing to help me. So on MKX, like it's hard to get games on MKX. The best thing to do is to go on Unbearable stream because frankly the whole community's in there. It's like the community hub.
Wow.
But when he doesn't he wasn't streaming when I was on. So I would go in rooms and play guys from Chile, like 200 ping. And I got used to the 200 ping.
In MKX lobbies nowadays, by the way, you are getting the Latin American force. The whole team is there every single time. I do the same thing, Tweedy, and I did the same thing for Coliseum. I was like, I need games without people seeing it. I jumped in, Latin America bodied me. 200 ping, but you know what? It was all that was there. I understand. Continue.
Bro, there was a guy who I played almost every day. His name was Chile_Madsen. And he played Grandmaster just like Madsen would back in the day, and he was really good. I play that guy like almost every day.
Inspiring legends out there is Madsen.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
So MKX was tough, huh?
Yeah. So MKX was the only one I really need to ramp up practice for. I was playing a lot of MK11 and Injustice 2. I mean, honestly, lately though, I haven't been practicing the 3 games as much. I've just been practicing MK11 because that's a lot of work, like juggling those 3 games. So lately, it's just been pretty much all MK11.
I can't even commentate all 3 of them straight. I don't know how you guys.
I can't even play one of them. I struggle just to continuously play one, and this dude is out here winning 3. That honestly, I don't think any Coliseum in the future, any seasons, it's gonna be hard to top that, man. That is like, I'm trying to tell Aquaman, we need like trophies and medals, and we gotta get you one, dude. Like we need to get you something special for the run that you had in Coliseum Season 2. That was absolutely bonkers. But okay, I want to take this back. Oh, you got something.
Yeah,
what do you got?
I got something on that real quick, which is that I did have a plan to have something made for you, Tweedy. But the unfortunate thing is it's actually the same person that made this.
He's going for the props.
This Sub-Zero mask was made by someone I met at the We Play events. And I was about to reach out to him to commission something, and then the unfortunate situation in Ukraine is going on. So that is currently on hold, but I was planning on getting you a nice little trophy made from him in particular, because he was so nice and he does wonderful work. But in the future, definitely looking at doing trophies and stuff. And the ideas out there, I want to do like a Coliseum Hall of Fame, just like in a Roman, Coliseum. There would be statues of legends of past. I want marble statues of you guys. That's really the dream here at the Coliseum.
He really just wants a marble statue.
I really just want a marble.
That's really all he's looking for here.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
But anyway, again, we've been talking about the present a lot. We'll get back to it, but I want to talk about the beginnings, the origins of Tweedy. When did you start playing fighting games, and when did you look around and you're like, yo, I think I can compete in these and I could do work in them? When did this all start?
Okay, so I always liked competitive gaming a lot. So basically, I wrestled in school, but I wasn't that great just because I was never in like that great of shape physically and stuff like that. But with games, it's like you just play the game, it's whatever. Like it doesn't matter like if someone's stronger than you or whatever, you can just play the game and figure it out. So I started playing like sports games a lot when I was a teenager. I would play Madden. I would be number one on the leaderboards on like whatever MMA game was out, like EA MMA.
Oh my
UFC
God. Were you a UFC 1 sweat back in the day? You were a UFC 1 sweat.
Leaderboards.
Bro, let me tell you, bro. I was number one on the leaderboards on the EA UFC 1 on Xbox and PS4, bro.
I probably saw you on those leaderboards. That is such a small world. That's crazy.
But so what happened was I think it was Fatal 8. Yeah, I watched. No, it wasn't Fatal 8. I just saw that. I'll get to Fatal 8, but I just saw that MKX was coming out, and I was like, oh, I'll get MKX. I played like the 3D MKs when I was a kid with like Bo Raicho and shit. So I was just streaming, talking about, because I would stream EA UFC all the time. So I was just streaming and talking about it, and someone was talking about Sonic Fox and Fatal 8 in my chat. So I just YouTubed it, and I was like, man, like these guys are playing like this 1v1 like game and people care about it. There's like interviews and all this. And the thing is when you play like a sports game competitively, you know what you hear, bro? They're just like, you're a cheeser. You're not playing like how they do in real life. Like they wouldn't throw the football like that. They wouldn't punch. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
seeing like this game where like no one's saying that, like they're winning at any means necessary, and like people care enough to set up this event where there's like interviews and money and a stage and all that. I was hooked, bro.
Real quick, do you think that, and this is huge credit to Joshua Gray and the team at the time at ESL, that the production value of that Fatal 8 was also what kind of caught your eye, because it's more, in line with what a lot of us grew up on, and for you with the MMA, that kind of head-to-head, and it was like they were two players entering an arena, just like an MMA match. Or for me, it was wrestling back in the day. WWF, baby, let's go. But do you feel like that helped as well as what they were actually doing? I'm just curious.
Yeah, for sure. But it was definitely mostly the fact that people just cared, because there were tournaments on UFC games, but they were like rare, and most of the time you wouldn't get any credit for being good. People would just be animals. Like, say you're like a cheeser and stuff like that. So seeing like people trying their hardest at a game get rewarded by like all this production and stuff like that, that really enticed me. And then I saw like Evo from the year before that, where Justin Wong beat Christian, and he like rolled around on the ground, his belly was hanging out, and I was like, man, I want to do that. So I was just hooked from there.
Hey, as it turns out, Tweedy, quite a few years later, Combo Breaker, was it Combo Breaker 2 years ago now? At the first at the first MK11 one, I remember that pop off.
Yeah, but the Cetrion ground pound.
He did a Cetrion ground pound IRL on the stage. But hey, what a win it was, though. Pre-patch Baraka versus Sonic at the time. Whoa, that was a good one.
Hey, bro, the first person in bracket to beat Sonic on MK11.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's a good set to have. So you're watching Fatal 8. First of all, it's crazy that this must have been what, like late 2014, probably early 2015. You're live streaming. That's already pretty insane. That's very rare. And two, shout out to that one dude in chat that told you to check out an MKX tournament. What would life be like? I mean, maybe down the line you would have found it, but at that moment in time, shout out to that dude in chat that told you to look it up. That is absolutely insane. What drew you to streaming in 2015?
Um, I can't remember exactly, but I definitely didn't stream UFC 3. I definitely didn't stream EA MMA. It started with EA UFC 1, and
Mhm.
I don't remember. Oh, okay, I remember now. So there was this guy who got EA UFC 1 like really early, and he
Mhm.
was streaming on Twitch, and everyone in like our UFC Skype groups would be like linking the guy's Twitch, like go watch this guy. And then I ended up getting it a little early too, and they're like, "Oh, Tweedy, you should stream it like that guy did." And then that's where it started, and I would just keep
Hey.
streaming.
The stars are aligning, man. That is that is so wild, dude. So you're watching MKX now. You're finally like, okay, I'm gonna buy MKX. It comes out. Do you remember your first tournament, and was it offline or online?
Okay, so here's the thing with me. Like I'm not afraid to lose. So like when MKX came out, I was signing up for everything under the sun.
Nice.
Like, you know, a lot of people they'll be like, "Oh, I got to get to a certain level." I was signing up. I was getting smoked by Rio on his Springwater account, by Katana Prime, Soul Warrior. Like anyone decent on Xbox was just kicking my ass, and like ESL and all this other shit. I was just signed up for whatever.
Was that your first taste of competition? Were those early ESL Pro Leagues?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And then when do you make the switch to going offline?
So I got really good like middle of 2016. I was really good with like KoloCon and Alien. And on Test Your Mind, I would just talk shit. I would be like, if I could travel, I would get top 8.
And that's and I remember those posts. I
Yeah.
shit you not. I remember those posts, Tweety.
And I think it was Salt Shaker, and it ended up being Salt Shaker and Awkward Sloth. Salt Shaker was basically like, well, then I'll just send you to TCW then, and we'll see if you get top 8. And so they did, and then I got top 8. So what's up? But here's the thing though, like I didn't really know how the FGC worked and stuff like that because I would watch like Smite and like I played Smite a little bit too, but I would play Smite or I would watch Smite, watch League of Legends, and they would have like big online stuff, and then all the players would get paid to travel. So like I didn't really have any money, so the fact that you had to like travel on your own dime to like prove yourself, I couldn't do that. So my like I resorted to just talking shit about what I would do. You know what I mean? Once I got good,
Hey,
and it worked out.
it ended up working out. And if I remember, and you can correct me, did you not take an unholy long Greyhound to TCW?
Yeah, so it was like literally last second, so everything was real expensive, and I got like a 25-hour Greyhound, but on the way back it was like 38 because of delays. It sucked.
That is
Never again, bro.
that's still insane to me. But Tweety, can I say from an
Wait, hold on. Let me stop you for a second,
Yeah.
bro, because I need to say something about that. When you're taking a Greyhound that long, you forget that you're who you are outside of that Greyhound. You know what I mean? Like, I forgot that I'm Tommy Tweedy, that, you know, I live in Indiana, I do this. I forgot that. I just thought I was this person that exists on this
NPC in a Greyhound.
yeah, I forgot that I had some. When I got home, I was like, oh, yeah, I live here and I do this.
I have a
and this.
house and
Wow.
yeah, I have a life.
Like, I forgot all that.
That's incredible.
I thought he was
What-
an NPC in a bus, dude. That's how he was born, and that's how
I forgot who I was on the journey.
Yeah, bro.
But what's crazy is that he arrived and was still able to make top 8 at his first offline ever. And what I was gonna say to you is from an organizational standpoint, it warms my heart being able to kind of be there for your first offline too. And can you talk about that experience of like your very first offline? Do you remember any notes that you took away from that in particular? Meeting certain players? Is there something that you were maybe caught off guard by or weren't expecting that did happen, or things that you were expecting to happen that didn't happen, etc.?
Okay, so I credit the fact that I was able to get top baited at my first offline to seeing people like make excuses for why they didn't do good offline all the time. Like people be like, oh, I didn't update my converter.
Ooh.
I wasn't used to the monitor. I don't have a monitor, so I couldn't get used to it. So well before I traveled, I got me a monitor. I made sure my converter was updated. When I got to the venue, I played for like an hour before my bracket. So I feel like I could have just been another like statistic that's good online and gets blown up offline. But I just took notes from everyone else like making excuses, and I was like, all right, I'm not gonna do any of that. And yeah, like everything about it was memorable. It was in like a Dave and Buster's.
It was dope.
Which was really cool.
I gave everyone like a couple, like I gave everyone like $100 in Dave and Buster's credits that showed up, and I was like, go to town. It was actually really
yeah,
fun.
that was awesome, bro. Just walk outside the venue and it's a Dave and Buster's. That was crazy.
Worth the 30-hour ride. Completely worth just because of the
He's
Dave
playing
and
a
Buster's
pool
tickets.
match over here, and then a hostess comes up, goes, "You guys want a drink?" You know, it was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you go offline, you make top 8. You're like, all right, I'm not just an online warrior. And now is this when you're finally like, okay, now it's time to start traveling and taking this seriously? Or did you still kind of chill back and only went out every so often?
No, so I traveled a lot after that because I got a sponsor. Well, I got sponsored by like this clan I was in to go to SCR.
Exile?
And then
At the time?
and then it was like a guy in exile sent me there. And then I think it was God, what was that guy's name? He was like one of Foxy's friends. Taco, Sub-Zero player, was that his name?
Taco. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he sent me to SCR, and then I didn't do good there. I did awful because they nerfed Alien like crazy like 10 days before, and people were like talking shit. They're like, "Oh, the Alien players explodes," but bro, I lost to a Melina, and Melina went from top tier to top tier, and Alien went from got nerfed like crazy. So that was some BS. But then I did really good online after that, and Noble ended up picking me up, and then I went to like I want to say like 5 or 6 more tournaments before Injustice 2.
Yeah,
And then
those
Injustice
were...
2. Jeez. What's that? What's the run of Injustice 2 look like? Because that's when NetherRealm was like really in there. They're putting on all their tournaments and stuff. I think they even had their own like pro league or something like that going at the time. Were you a part of all that?
No, not at first because I went to Combo Breaker. I was slacking a lot when Injustice 2 came out. Like I didn't get in the beta, and then I didn't play too much when it came out. And then I went to Combo Breaker and I did terrible. Like I got smacked by I think it was Tekken Master and Winners.
That's
and
not.
then
That's not the worst loss.
yeah, but it was bad though. Like the way I was playing, like
Gotcha.
like yeah, like he was great, but I was awful. And then in losers, I made like a little losers run, and then I lost to Plane to Win's Deadshot. So from there, like Noble didn't send me to any more events in 2017, which I didn't really want to go because I was not playing good at that point. But then I want to say like middle of the year I started getting pretty good. Like I went to Hometown Heroes. I like almost qualified for E-League. I was like 2 spots away. And then when Starfire came out, I got like really good at the game. Pretty much.
Starfire is insane, bro.
The way he worded it.
Dude, season 2, every single time we either uploaded like the full VOD or one of your like own matches and it was Starfire, dude, the comments just all the way down about Starfire. Either people on your side of being like nobody else plays Starfire, or people saying this is the most busted character in the world.
The perfect time to bring this up. Tweedy, I've got a question for you.
There we go.
Let's go.
This is kind of a multi-parted question here. How does it feel to have people constantly tell you you're only winning because of your character? How have you dealt with that? And I feel like you've been able to overcome that, especially here in MK11. And since TCW in particular, I have seen you do nothing but shut everyone the fuck up. And it's been fantastic to watch from the outside looking in. And I would like you to talk about it.
Okay, so here's my logic. And I feel like this logic makes sense. Like, so you got Dragon, right? He won Evo. And people were like, oh, Aquaman, fucking Aquaman.
Yep.
But there was like 7,000 Aquamans in the tourney that didn't do that good.
Exactly.
So the character's very good, right? And then with Alien, it was only like me, Dab, and Dragon that were doing really good. And Sonic, when Sonic would like play acidic here and there. And those other 3 players besides me, Dab, Dragon, and Sonic, they were all proven to be good with like 40 characters at that point. So it was like, if I'm doing close to as good as them, like obviously I don't think it's the character. And then with Starfire, after I won Combo Breaker, like the whole scene picked her up, like Tekken Master, Honeybee, Biohazard, and I mean my Starfire was still the best. So I feel like no one ever gets carried because otherwise you would see like random results with that character. You know what I mean? Like with Jackie, you see the same Jackies like do really well. If Jackie players were really carried, you would see like a random Jackie winning every tourney. I feel like.
That is logical.
I
agree.
actually agree, man. And
Mhm.
you know, I almost promised myself that I wasn't going to talk about Kotal, but I got one quick thing to say about that because it is relatable. Because when you look at you're you're just carried by this character, and you look at how certain people perform with those characters. You can look at almost every situation like that and go, they were going to place regardless of what character they were going to use because they're just better than X amount of other people in that tournament. And I feel like that's the case, and it's been proven the case for a couple of games now. When it was being talked about a lot about people being carried, I think that's kind of gone out the window because the same people place, and if you can't shut them up and beat them, then what's the point?
I don't know if I agree entirely with it doesn't matter who they played, because I'm not gonna lie, when I tried to solo main Frost, it was a struggle, bro.
Yeah,
it was
I
a
remember
struggle.
Yeah.
And also with like Sonic, you would see like when Sonic would main Johnny or Joker, Sonic would either beat Ninja Killer or it'd be like very close. But when Sonic tried to play Collector or Devora, it was like destruction. So I feel like at the highest level, it doesn't matter who you pick, but obviously you got to be like really good, because there's so many Jackies and like all these other top tiers that either drown in pools or don't make top 8s or whatever. But I feel like at the highest level, you can't really do it with like a low tier. But I don't think that means that people are carried though.
Tweedy, we're back to the present now, which I'm happy about, because I want to talk about a little bit about Coliseum Season 3. We obviously talked about Season 2 at the very beginning. I just want to know, and I know Aquaman likes to get the feedback too, but this is our first time chatting about it. How do you feel about the Coliseum matchmaking system and our top 8 system? Do you feel like it's a breath of fresh air to play online, or do you like the old school style bracket system? And for somebody, again, we just finished week 6. Bro, you won 10 games in a row. 10 sets in a row during matchmaking alone, and then all the way through to grand finals. Just need to put that out. Just gonna put that out there for those that didn't watch.
On the day.
Started 0-2, ends 13-2.
0-2 in any other tournament on Sunday.
That's true. That's true. Would have gone 0-2, but ends up going 13-2 and winning. So, what are your thoughts on kind of the Coliseum matchmaking and the online play that way?
Well, I really like it. So, I actually did a tournament similar to that in, I think, December of 2020.
Oh wow.
It was called Tweedy's Ladder. And like someone made a picture of like Jacob's ladder, but with my face. And so there's a guy named, I think his name is the Crimson Blur. He's like a big melee like community pillar. And he was talking about how, everyone does brackets and stuff like that, because offline, if you try to do something like a ladder, you need like a billion setups, right?
Yeah.
Because everyone's always playing. And he was like, explaining how online it's actually more efficient to do like a matchmaking system, because people don't have to wait.
Yeah.
People get way more games in, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I tried it, and I was really happy to see like Xbox do it, Aquaman do it, and I
That's
hope
what I saw
more people
first
do
was
it.
Xbox doing it.
Yeah.
And Tweedy was one of the ones that competed in it. And if I'm not mistaken, I may have reached out to you, Tweedy, and asked you about what you thought about it, even at the time.
Yeah. And another thing is it's great for content, because like if you watch a lot of standard tournament runs, 90% of the stream is just going to be the guy sitting there like, oh, I'm just waiting on my next match.
Every time.
There it is.
But with ladders, you're just always playing.
Mm-hmm.
This past weekend, it blew my mind when we started the bracket. Q was live. I look at Twitch and I could count 10 people streaming their Coliseum run, and that's never happened before. Like with any of the previous stuff we've done, and I've been doing online tournaments for 6 years now. 6 years now, and with that old style, players didn't want to stream their run because it was boring. They'd be sitting there for 45 minutes in between. If it's ESL, it's even longer.
Hours, yeah.
And so this, when I saw Xbox do it, and I ran it through my head when I tried to apply it to the Coliseum, I was like, wait a minute. It's like a win. It's easier for me, them. It's more for them, more for us. And with keeping matchmaking off stream, it puts the focus on the players. When we do our top 8, it's more about just kind of having a little show for us to put together, and then only minute points around the line. It's a lot less serious than those weekly top 8s. Single elimination. It's less time for the players, and all the feedback we've gotten so far has been positive, and I'm glad it's been positive for you as well, Tweedy, and we appreciate it, man.
Yeah. I feel like it's more optimal for online, but obviously, when online was way less serious, when fighting games didn't have as good netcode, or when the focus was just getting to the next offline. Like people were just like, okay, so in this online tournament, we're just going to simulate an offline tournament, so it's going to be a bracket. But I feel like now just looking at it, like the matchmaking system is just more optimal for online. So I hope that we see more people adapt it or adopt it.
I think that's exactly what Mr. Aquaman wanted to hear, dude. That's
right.
absolutely awesome. And you are literally crushing it, Tweedy, in our matchmaking system. So big shout out to you, man. I want to shift this now. We've been talking a lot about your professional career. Now I kind of want to switch this over to the more creative side of things. Actually, as we're recording this, I think like just 2 or 3 days ago, you put out a tweet about how you did a certain style of YouTube video and you actually really enjoyed it. And what was super cool about that, I checked it out, was it has nothing to do with fighting games. And I think that's absolutely awesome because a lot of people, like let's say you're an MK11 player, they think, oh, I got to make MK11 videos or MK11 content. And you kind of just shifted right away from that and you made content about something that you really enjoy, which is like anime shows. And I think that's really awesome. So what kind of gave you the thought of like, I want to start making content? And again, most people would just automatically default to the game they're playing, but you're like, no, I want to make content on things that I like instead. Which again, kudos to you, man, because I feel like not a lot of people do that. But what was kind of the mentality behind that leading up to you putting out that kind of video and subsequently making another video like that?
Okay, so I watch a lot of channels like that, like Swag Kage and just other random channels like discussing anime and stuff like that. And I would always just I would either comment or just think to myself like thoughts that I had about it. And then my friend Devil May Care, I don't know if you guys know him. He goes to the tournaments. He's like a big like Killer Instinct pillar.
One of the goats.
He's working on like a project himself that's like not really related to Killer Instinct, with like a similar like analysis like vibe to it. And he'll just be in a Discord call with me and he'll be sharing a screen and I'll be watching him like in the process of it. And one day I just woke up and I like had all these thoughts about a certain show or whatever, and I was like, man, like what if I just went for it and tried to make like an analysis video like that? And I'm not gonna lie, like I'm really passionate about it. Like I could do MK content, I could upload like Combat League or tips, but I just have no passion for that. Like I don't know. But for this I do. Like I already got my next script for my next video. And like I said, I had a friend help me with a lot of editing and stuff like that. So I'm gonna try to do like a video a week. They do take a lot more work than just like uploading Combat League or something like that. So I can't do like daily uploads, but I'm definitely going to try to upload like a video a week and see where it goes.
Dude, that is like the best place to start. And I literally saw you have 2 videos on your channel, and I didn't see what the older one was, but the most recent one literally already has 700 views. So you're taking your platform that you've created from fighting games and you're utilizing that to be able to now put out stuff that you're passionate about, which is so sick, dude. Like that's literally what it's all about. Building yourself a platform, building a name for yourself, and then diverting that audience and things to other facets that you're involved with. And right off the bat, man, you got 700 views on this first video that you put out in a year. Now you want to put out videos every single week, and you wrote a damn script for the next one, dude. I'm super hyped about that, man.
That's more than I've ever done in content creation, Tweedy.
I made Mr. Aquaman write a 2-minute intro script, and he made me write it for him like a year ago. He made me write the 2-minute intro for him.
And guess what? I've never edited anything. I don't do 2 takes. I do 1 take. I'm a live man. So kudos to you, Tweedy, because that form of content creation, it's a different animal, as I'm sure you're getting into.
And here's the thing with scripts, bro. And Ominous told me this. He watched both of my anime videos. And he said in my first one, like, he couldn't really tell I was reading from a script, but he couldn't really tell I was. But in the second one, I was like more robotic with it. Like you could tell I was just reading off a script, no emotion. Right. So I want to like find that sweet spot where I'm still reading a script, so I'm not rambling. I'm hitting like the points I want to hit, but I'm also like not too robotic. So that's something I need to work on. And this next script I have, I'm like really happy with it. And so that's why I'm trying to step up like my editing and all that for this next video, because I don't want to waste this script on like poor execution.
Hey,
dude, this is so good to hear, man.
He's talking like a content creator.
He's talking like a YouTuber, man. I'm so happy, man. Let's go. Like that just as the resident YouTuber over here, dude. That makes me so happy. Yes, we will definitely be linking your channel down below. A video a week. That's absolutely awesome. And I love that you're seeking out feedback. You're taking the feedback. You're working on it. You're trying to find different answers to different things. Like the most important thing about being a YouTuber, everyone thinks that like you got to be perfect from the start. That's not the case at all. You need to put out like 50 to 100 shitty videos and be able to take feedback on them and learn from them and see what you want to do better. And then that's how you start to actually find your groove and like get where you want to get to. And it's so awesome that you're only 2 videos in and you're doing things that people take like 300 videos to start doing and acting on. So man, if you just keep up with the pace that you're going and how you're talking, YouTube is going to be a very bright future for you, man. And speaking of the future, do you plan on kind of moving from competing into YouTube, like balancing both of them for now and then slowly transitioning to YouTube? Or are you kind of just doing it for now because it's fun?
So if you notice my channel, like you're saying, it's only 2 videos. And I actually had like a lot on there, like MK stuff. I beat the hardest Elden Ring boss without using like the cheese that everyone was using.
Nice.
And I uploaded that. And but I deleted all that. No, I didn't delete it all. I unlisted it all. Because when I find like a anime analysis, because here's the thing, I'm a big fan of these type of videos, so I feel like I have a good idea of like what people want to watch and stuff like that. And when I go to a channel like that, I watch one of their videos. If I like them, I'm like, oh, they talked about this too, and they talked about this too. Let me watch all that. So I don't want people to have to shift through like me playing like Code Vein or like this guy on Combat League, you know what I mean? So I just enlisted it all. And as far as me focusing more on YouTube, yeah, so I'm pretty much going to drop Injustice 2 and MKX soon. Because it takes a lot of time, bro, to keep up with,
I don't know how you do it, man. I don't know how
with those players.
You're at the top of the mountain in MK11 and also juggling Injustice 2 and MKX. I said it during the Week 6 show where I was like, you beat people that only play Injustice 2. You beat people that only play MKX. You beat people that only play MK11. How the fuck are you supposed to juggle those 3 and now adding YouTube on top, bro? I do not blame you whatsoever, but sorry, please continue.
Yeah, so like, here's the thing. They only play those games, but I pretty much have to play those games as much as them. So I'm like putting in like full-time hours on like I play MKX, play Injustice 2, then play MK11. And here's the thing about competing, like I like it a lot. As long as my hands work well and all that, I'm always going to compete on like whatever fighting game I'm playing. But as far as like juggling them and stuff, I'm not going to do that anymore, and I'm not too passionate about it. Like this YouTube stuff I'm very passionate about, so yeah, I'm just going to compete in MK11 and work on YouTube and stuff like that.
There we go, man. There we go. And I there's like 2 sides of the YouTube coin where you could be like, again, your take where it's like, I don't want people to sift through like 5 other games when they're just here for anime stuff. And the other side of the coin is like, you could make second channels. Do you ever think that you would make...
That's what I was about to say.
Would you make a Tweedy FGC channel and then a Tweedy like whatever you're passionate about channel, or are you just sticking to like my YouTube content is going to be the discussions about what I'm passionate about?
Well, I'm gonna start streaming soon, so I would probably make a second channel for VODs because I feel like it's kind of a waste to not at least dump your VODs.
Absolutely,
you know?
Man.
So I would definitely do that.
Stream, as soon as you hit end stream, a lot of people don't realize that all that 4 hours, 8 hours of content goes right into the void. And that's kind of what I talked to Mr. Aquaman about. I'm like, you end stream, dude. Like before I was signed on to the YouTube stuff for him, I was like, you end the stream, bro, and like that stuff's gone forever. And you know, we call it double dipping, right? You're gonna stream it anyway.
Okay,
you might as well double dip and put it somewhere else.
Here's the thing. I was double dipping. Flashyy came along, and now we're penta dipping.
we're quadruple dipping.
Now we're borderline penta dipping on those spots.
Yeah.
We got individual matches. We got highlights going out. We've got.
Oh yeah, no, I agree. I think it's absolutely awesome.
Yep.
Get the Tweedy VOD channel going as well as the MA one, and that's also going to be good for your creative, man. Because if you're just locked into doing one thing, eventually you're going to get burned out. But if you kind of have both, you know, you're giving your creative side like a juggle where you can like go back and forth and utilize different parts of your creativity, and I think that's super important. So, listen, man, from competing to content creating, it sounds like you got this stuff on lock, man. You just got to keep executing, which you're no stranger to doing. That's for sure.
Yeah, and someone asked me this on Twitter, I think yesterday. They asked me if like I have a job and stuff like that. Thankfully, I live in like a small town in Indiana, so like rent and bills are pretty cheap here. So like, I got money saved up on top of the tournament wins I make, so I can give this a full-time go for like a while and see how it pans out.
Dude, that's absolutely awesome, man. Give yourself a little bit of a shell and just go full in on it. That's the way to do it, dude. I absolutely love it. With all the Coliseum winning, especially after season 2.
If he keeps winning, if he keeps winning the online tournaments that I put together, because he's been doing it not just with the Coliseum, because he also got second place in the first season, and the first season's prize pool shit on most majors. It did. Dude, it was. And
every time I see on Twitter, this guy's like retweeting stuff about like winning some exhibition that somebody's putting on and doing something else, and I'm like, bro, does this guy not win? And I know you said it during the show where you're like, I know it seems like I win everything, but I definitely lose a lot. Not from this angle, man. You're just taking W's left and right, which is absolutely insane. And what's crazy, I actually wanted to ask you this. This is like super specific for those that watch Week 6. I had to know, what was the decision to switch to Johnny Cage in Week 6?
Ooh, against Cole in particular?
Against Kotal Khan only. We only saw it in semifinals and grand finals. You switched to Johnny Cage. What was the mentality behind that? Do you know something about the... Yeah, this is for Mr. Aquaman. He's trying to get the tech. What do you know about the Johnny Kotal matchup that made you go back to... I think it was one of your old mains in MK11. I think at one point you were playing Johnny, right? And you brought him back now for Week 6 of Coliseum.
Okay, so like when it comes to my mentality, I either have full confidence or no confidence, and it all depends on like my practice. Like if I know I put the practice in, I have insane confidence. If I know I haven't, I have no confidence. And like I've only been playing like Johnny for the most part for the past few weeks.
Wow.
So I was getting cooked by like Sunio and Honeybee in the ladder when I was playing Gearus, and then I played Pop Tart the night before on Vera's stream, and he cooked my Gearus. So I was like, man, you know what? Like, I've only been practicing Johnny, so let me just give Johnny a try. Like, why am I not trying the only character I've been practicing? Like, it makes no sense. So yeah, I just tried him, and it worked out.
Me and Aquaman are sitting there like thinking like it's so deep,
yeah,
and there's like
exactly.
some deep rooted like
it's just,
you know some tech, and he's just like, I've just been practicing with Johnny and losing with Garrus. That's pretty much it. And then he ends up taking the W with Johnny. What? Are you kidding me, man?
Wonderfully played, man. Well, Tweedy, like I said, you've been winning tournaments I've been putting together for almost as long as I've been putting tournaments together. Been a wonderful addition to the community. Been one of the top players for the past few years. You won all 3 games last season of the Coliseum. You're looking good to make it to the finale in MK11. I think in MKX, I just did the math the other day. I'm going to check the MKX room.
Get the official stats here.
And the points. Tweedy is, I believe, me and Tweedy are tied in points in MKX going into the final week.
Wow.
You son of a bitch.
We got the rivalry
Tweedy.
coming up this weekend.
It's gonna be intense when we play on Friday.
Both of us are tied for 9th in points right
The
now.
bubble. We got the bubble boys on the podcast right now. No way, man.
Oh, no.
I'm gonna sweat. You're gonna see him playing MKX on stream the next couple days.
Man, we got to worry about Deoxys in that final week, though. Hold on a second.
Yeah, so with Coliseum this season, see a lot of tournament series like it'll be like Coliseum where you have to gather points and then there's like a good prize pool in the finale. So my logic has always been, if I'm good enough to win the finale, then I'm good enough to make it in like in the last few events or whatever. Like, so I normally like slack and then I go ham, but and this is my fault. I just didn't pay attention. I didn't realize that it got lowered from 16 finalists to 8. And I also didn't realize that it got lowered from 8 weeks to 7. So I was thinking
last second, but yep.
I was thinking 16 make it in, and that after week 4 I still had 4 weeks of playing. So I was stressed the last couple of weeks playing Coliseum because I realized that there's only 7 weeks and only 8 make it in.
This man
thankfully I did win.
Gave him the challenge of having less than half of the time as everyone else to make it in.
Well, yeah, because if I can't make it in with like half the time, then I feel like I'm not good enough to win the finale anyways. That's like always kind of been my logic.
That's kind of true, yeah. Because
I'm looking good for MK11 now.
Finale, you got to win the entire thing.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta beat everyone anyways. But yeah, I'm looking good for MK11 now. I think I'm like 7th. So I just got maintained. And then MKX, yeah, I gotta go off in this last one. It's gonna be tough.
That's what I love about our format, dude. Like people like Tweety just being like, dude, I gotta take this W or I'm out. Like that's what's so sick about it, man. That's what's so sick about it. But I think both me and Aquaman have full confidence that we'll be seeing you in at least one of the finales, because it wouldn't be a Coliseum finale without Tweety at this point. That's just literally how it goes, man.
Here's the thing: if he knocks me out of MKX, he's banned anyway. So
regardless, yeah, it's over for you on MKX. He's banned anyway. But Tweety, man, what an awesome talk, hearing the origin story, hearing your path to how you got to where you are. And I had to smile from ear to ear hearing about how you look at YouTube and content creation, man. And what's even cooler about it is that it's not even fighting games focused. And I think that is a really cool point for anybody that might be wanting to get into content creation, where it's like, you don't have to just do one thing. You're allowed to like multiple things, and you can pivot and do whatever you want. And that's the beauty of it. And Tweety is you're a star example of that, man. And there's really nothing else to say, dude. You've literally been crushing that Coliseum. I'll definitely have your YouTube linked. Your Twitter's been right below you the entire time. Any shout outs you want to give? before we close out here, episode 30?
Well, first of all, I want to shout out to you for looking at my YouTube video and watching it and linking it.
I always
and all
do my
that.
research. I got you, bro. Don't worry.
The first person I told that I was doing that, they actually burped and was like, okay. So that did a lot for my my self confidence with it. But since I'm not going to say who they are, but yes. But since a lot of people have been supportive, and I appreciate that you checked it out and liked it and all that. And who do I want to shout out?
I'm happy I got the first one. That's huge. We'll take that.
Well, I mean, I want to sponsor or shout out my sponsor, CGL. I want to shout out Aquaman for running the Coliseum and this podcast. Who knows, maybe after this podcast, he'll lead me down a path to becoming the next Joe Rogan. I mean, we'll see, or maybe
we want the residuals from that one, though.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe this will be my last podcast, though. We don't know. There's two paths.
Hey, if we could have the only Tweedy appearance on a podcast, I'll take either route. Either Tweedy becomes the next big guy on it, or he's done forever. I'm happy with that.
All we needed was a 3-time champ on here. I'm happy.
That's it.
Yeah, so there's two paths I could go down. This could be my last podcast, or I could become the next Joe Rogan. So we'll see how that goes. And who else could I shout out? Shout out my boy Devil May Care 4. That's one of my best friends. He's got a lot of content going. He's like a big pillar in the Killer Instinct scene. Who else could I shout out? Let me look.
Taking out the Rolodex.
Yeah, I want to shout out my boys Diddle and Papa Cap. They're two up and comers in the MK scene. They got funny streams. They got good content. Yeah, I'm going sub.
You're getting mixed.
Shout out.
He's actually become a part of the Coliseum as Papa Cap. Let's go.
Hell, oh, bro. So my boy Kors, shout out to him as well. Cool guy, cool commentator. He made a meme of who's that Pokemon, but instead it's who's that sub? It's Cav, and then it has like Cav's clip play. That shit's funny, but yeah. Shout outs to just everybody in the MK scene, because you know what, bro? We stopped getting support for this game. What was it? November 2020. So everyone who kept going, you guys keep the scene alive, because there's a lot of games out there that do get developer support that you could have moved on to, or stop focusing on MK and focusing all on that or whatever. So shouts to everyone who keeps going in the NRS scene in general, whether it be MK11 or MKX or Injustice 2, or I don't know, even MK9 and Justice 1, if there's people out there playing those, because like I said, we get no support, so people are doing it for the love, and that's awesome. You guys keep the scene going.
There's no better way to close it out there, man. That's the most positive note we can end on. Aquaman, I think that's it for us. Episode 30 in the bag. Tweedy, keep crushing it. We can't wait to see you in Coliseum Season 3, probably the finals, unless you knock out Mr. Aquaman and MKX, you're banned. Other than that, we appreciate everybody watching. Be sure to give us a follow. Again, all of our Twitters, all of our YouTubes, all that are in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching. We're going to catch you next week. Peace.